Well, hello, everybody. Again, welcome back to part two of us here at Under Investigation. We're talking to trainer Mike, who's back for another episode. I can't believe you came back.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just had so much fun. You had to come back.
I know. It's like I never left.
Yeah, something like that.
I was just gonna say, I love, like, he doesn't realize that he's taking photos and videos,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
And we're all wearing the same clothes,
Yeah.
so we didn't go anywhere.
To include
right?
the same undies, but yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. You're right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I do like the whole, like, thanks for coming back.
Yeah.
Can't keep stop looking at yeah.
He makes it very theatrical.
Theatrical. I've been called a lot of things.
After a week off, we
Theatrical
decided
is not one of them.
After a week off, we decided to come back into the studio, all wear the same clothing, and we're gonna do part two now.
Well planned. It's well planned.
Well,
You guys
thought up.
you sleep
I
in your
wear
clothes
this-
all week.
Did I wear this last week? Is this what I didn't even know.
Twinsies.
I live a limited closet, and
You guys
I
are
only
just
have a handful of clothing.
terrible. Okay, we need to be respectful of trainer Mike's time. So, just to recap, you've had quite the career thus far,
Mhm.
and when we left last episode 5 minutes ago,
It's 32 minutes.
32 seconds ago,
32 seconds ago.
Boys are getting it now.
what
I'm
else
gonna
takes 32 seconds?
I'm gonna
Mike?
get shirts made up that just say
Definitely
32.
Bathroom breaks.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, so we were talking about your interesting career and how you like to crash squad cars, and now you just been selected to be a canine,
Yeah. I just
and that's really what we were supposed to be talking about
Right.
all last episode, and it just didn't happen that way.
no.
That's okay.
The groundwork got laid. Yeah.
So what happened?
Canine. I showed up for my first day of canine, and my I knew what I was going for. My sole role with canine was going to be single purpose apprehension dog. So
Is that common out there?
yes.
Because everything out here is dual, or it
I
seems
don't
to
like
be.
I don't like dual. Yeah, I don't like dual. And that's the way I was brought up was single purpose.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So we also had a lot of money out there, so that's why we had a lot of dogs that specialized in single purpose everything. So yeah, single purpose apprehension. So I showed up for training. My trainers, Sam and Brad, were absolutely amazing. They hated me. I think they did, but they also love me, which how can you not? But so we.
What's not to love?
I know. Thank you.
Right?
So I show up and they, the first second they see me walk into the classroom with all the other handlers that are going through the class, we had 5 of us, and they all made it a point to tell everybody that I don't fail. And I'm like a god. I don't fail, and I will not fail.
Because they know your history.
Correct. Yeah. They told me I'm not allowed to fail during canine class, and if I do fail, then I'm a liar. So I have a lot riding on
If
this.
you have no idea what he's referring to, you got to go back to
You
that
have
first
to, you
part
have to
one.
listen to the part one.
Right.
So I'm like, oh God, here we go. This is how it's going to be. I have 590 hours of this, and this is how it's going to be.
Now, do you have somebody that follows you around, like tying your shoes and stuff at this point in your career? Because you should.
I have assistants. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. And anyways,
I know I'm making it really
yeah,
difficult.
I know. Man, I got to watch my vocabulary on this, but holy Christmas.
Hey,
Yeah,
Christmas.
I know. So we do something very special out in Washington. They really get to know you. The trainers get to know you, and then they go out and they select your dog. I had an overzealous sergeant at the time who did not allow me to go with them to go select my dog. My trainers went out to Colorado to select my dog without me, which is very foreign. But again, overzealous canine sergeant at the time.
Okay, no, for real though. What I could see the benefit of you going.
Mhm.
Why would they not let you go? Money?
Well, we were a very well-funded agency. I don't know why, but it just came down to his decision,
Okay.
the sergeant's decision of it, and whatever. So here I am on pins and needles, waiting for them to bring home a dog for me, and they select my dog. They do all the selection process for it. So I got to miss how that all worked and understand how that works. I missed valuable training in that aspect of it, but I made up for it later on. And I get home, and as they tell me they selected my dog, and they tell me, hey, your dog knows French. That's give me your commands are in French. I said, okay, Brian, perfect, great. I go out and I get Rosetta Stone, and I'm learning French. I'm hooked on this. I'm learning French. They get home with my dog. His name is Doc. I renamed him from Renault to Doc. and I get my
Wait,
dog. And
his initial name was Renault.
Renault. Yep.
That is a French name.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
And he came from Hungary. So Doc was imported from Hungary. Went to VLK, and from VLK came to Seattle, and well, Tukwila. But I get my dog, and it's the first day I have my dog, and I'm holding this animal that's going to kill people and me, and I'm don't know what to do with him, and I'm just sitting there like I'm a kid in a candy store, and I start speaking to him in French, and they're like, "You idiot! He doesn't know French."
Oh,
I was just gonna say, who trains their dogs in French?
the Frenchies.
Frenchies.
That's the first I've ever,
The
I
Frenchies.
have ever heard anybody in the U.S. having a dog that had French commands. I'm like,
Well,
Dutch. I've
I
heard.
think we've gotten dogs from Canada.
Hmm?
I mean,
But-
I don't know if they've ever.
I don't think they're trained in French.
Or that's I don't
Sure.
think so. I think our last 2 may have come from Canada.
Okay. Nice.
I think I'm
See,
not sure. So what kind of dog?
RCMP
is-
does a great job with their dog. They do a great program. So yeah, Doc was a shepherd from Hungary. He was green. He was 9 months old. Green meaning he did not know anything. He didn't know blasted anything. He knew he liked the ball. He knew he liked to bite, and he knew that I was a ball or a biting tool, and that's what I was to him. So he had no means of understanding anything. So I take home this dog who smells like the south end of a northbound hog. And I take him home, and I got to give him a bath. And they told me, give him a bath. You're going to show up for training tomorrow morning. Well, tomorrow night. And I'm like, okay, cool. Get home, and I got this dog, and he wants to kill me. And I want to put him in the bathtub, but he wants to kill me. So I have marks on my arms from him, and give him a bath. And I had another dog at home, so I kept Doc tethered to me, and we did everything together for that first night. Show up for training, and it was again drinking from the fire hose. Just start going to town at it, and I know we got a limited time, and I got a long story, but I'll speed it up. But somehow, some way, shape, some form, these two amazing trainers found something in me that was that lit them up, and they took me under the wing like nobody else had ever done. They taught me everything, and I mean everything. They taught me how to select a dog. They taught me what to look for a dog. They taught me how to deal with overseas dealers and entities, and how to get selected dogs over here. And I was flabbergasted on what they knew, how they knew it, and what to teach me. So that's where I have got to give them full credit for everything that I have done until this day.
So is it a trainer thing that you tell people that get their first dog to go give their dog a bath? Because that's the same thing that happened to me when I got my explosive detection dog.
Yeah, bonding.
I was out in North Carolina, and they went, and I think I've told you this, but I was very similar, right? So you meet with the head trainer of the facility, and he's amazing, and he asks you a lot of just tell me about your dog experience. What kind of dogs have you had? Da da da. And they kind of help select a dog for you. And then when we get done, he's like, well, you've got a lot of canine experience in this. And he goes, and he literally just looks at me and says, what kind of dog do you want? And they've got, at any given point, 40, 50, 60 dogs that are all in various stages of training. And they're labs and shepherds and mals and mixes and just, all sorts of dogs. And he literally looks at me and goes, what kind of dog do you want? And I said, honestly, I don't care. I said, it's got to be a female. And he goes, okay. So fast forward a couple hours, we're out on the training floor, and one of the trainers goes, go grab your dog. And I said, I don't have a dog yet. And he goes, what do you mean you don't have a dog yet? I go, I don't have a dog yet. He goes, well, didn't Chris give you a dog? And I said, Chris did not give me a dog yet. And all of a sudden, like, Chris comes walking across, and keep in mind, this is like the head guy. Like, he's in charge of the entire facility. And he walks out, and across the floor, the trainer goes, hey, what kind of dog were you going to give him? And he goes, give him Kira. And he goes, okay. And he goes, look, go to the kennels and get Kira. And I go, what's a Kira? And he goes, just go get it. So I have no same kind of a deal. Like, I have no idea what I'm getting. I have no idea. So I go get her. I come walking out, and she's a Belgian Malinois mix. And so sure enough, we do train for the day, and we get done at the end of the day. And my trainer comes to me and goes, "No, when you're done here, that dog's been at a kennel for the last umpteen weeks. Go give your dog a bath." And I was like, "Oh, okay." There's facilities over at the kennel. Go give your dog a bath. And I was like, "Okay." And so I go over there, and yeah, I mean, it's it's like trying to fight a wet noodle in an arm wrestling. Just all over. And she's mainly she's her blood main line is Belgian Malinois, so she's a skinny, wiry, and yeah, and she's not bite dog, but she doesn't want to be in this bath. And So we're fighting. Yeah, I remember same thing, scratches and this and that, and hold on and just moving and soap all over the place. And so when you
how is
said
that a bonding event?
oh, so when you said that, I was like, is that a
More
trainer
comical.
thing? Yeah. Is that a trainer thing? The trainers go give your dog a bath.
Right.
Let's see how that works out.
Joke's
You know,
on you.
What an idiot.
yeah. You know, they pay people to do that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Well, when I heard you say that, I was thinking that's got to be a trainer thing or a trainer setup or something.
It's just a fun little thing to do. I enjoy it.
So how long were you, because you had, so Doc was just single purpose,
Yes.
apprehension,
Yep.
right? Patrol dog.
Yep.
And then because you moved up within the organization, like you were, and I don't want to quote it wrong, but you were like a master trainer or something like that?
Master handler.
There we go. Yeah. So is that just time in service or is that just certain certifications or
It's a lot of things.
qualifications or?
Certification, qualification, and just your way of operation. Doc had over he had over 500 captures. We had several hundred bites
Yeah.
of bad guys. Not a single bad bite in our entire career
Wow.
with him. And I'm telling departments right now, and I get on my soapbox. I work for the city of Brooklyn Center Police Department. I love that agency to death. I'm there for a very specific reason, and I'm there for the long haul. But you can have bite dog. You can have a single purpose bite dog and have that dog not make any accidents because you got to pick the right handler, and that's where it comes right down to.
Mhm.
Your training, your handling, your trust and bond with that animal, and you can do that successfully. And you can have umpteen hundreds of bites. It doesn't matter, or 0 bites, but you're not going to get a bad deployment making smart decisions with the right handler. So that's my little plug with departments.
No, and which is, I think, so, and again, I think that's what I was thinking about, or at least what I've heard too, is so that's, your agency or that state or other states isn't the only agencies that do this whole single purpose. Like they have drug dogs for drugs, they have bomb dogs for bombs, they have bite dogs for biting, they have tracking dogs for tracking. And in Minnesota, and maybe it's a Midwest thing, I shouldn't just singleize it to just Minnesota, but in Minnesota anyway, I don't know if it's a cost. I mean, or is it we're just trying to squeeze the most, because I'd never heard really the whole single purpose thing. I love the theory behind it, but I'd never heard the single purpose thing until I started talking to people from other states.
Sure.
And I just always thought maybe it's just because of how much a dog costs and how much a car costs and how much the overtime is and all the training that goes into it. I thought, well, why do we do, because almost every agency does a dual purpose of some form.
Right. I think it comes down to resources. If you're a smaller agency, smaller area, you want to have the best bang for your buck. The problem is, where I come from, if you're a canine, you're a canine. You're not on patrol. You're not taking patrol calls. You're a canine, and you back up patrol, but you're canine. That's your job. So we train, deploy, train, deploy. Right. Here it's a little bit different. You're a canine, but you're also, you could be a school resource officer. You could be a detective. You could be, patrol, taking umpteen however many patrol calls in a shift while having to deal with your dog and train with your dog. And it comes right down to here. If you have too much going every which way, you're going to lack on training. You're going to lack on a discipline. You're going to screw up on drugs, but might be good on tracking. You might be lacking on tracking and have a sloppy bite, whatever the case might be. If you can focus your dog on one thing, focus your handler, because that's where the mistakes come from, is your handler. As long as you get your person focused on what they have to do, you can really hone in your knowledge and experience, and then start to really show the results that you want out of your team. So that's the way I was brought up. That's the way I view it. But I also understand that you get in smaller areas, you have less resources, you have to have your person and that team do other things, and fill in other gaps. And I get it. I understand it. I don't like it, but I understand it. And that's what part of Minnesota, I think, falls under.
So we have a common friend, Brady Harrison,
yes,
who came from St. Paul. I love Brady. And I learned a ton from Brady when I was a canine handler, but why doesn't St. Paul do that? Because St. Paul for years has had one of the best canine programs.
Yep. Yeah, they're the caveat of
absolutely
of canine. Yep, for a long time.
But their dogs are still dual purpose, though, aren't they?
Yep, I believe so. But they also have, you're also canine is canine.
True. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So they can get away with it a little bit.
Yeah.
And
they have a full blown training facility. Separate. And what I like about for those that don't know, what I like about their training facility too is it's away from everything else. I mean, it is a separate facility. not near the police department,
Yep.
not near a precinct. It's literally away from everything,
Yep.
and it's a decent. So you don't have the other cops just wandering on into your training area,
Right.
or
Right.
people hanging around watching to see.
Exactly.
Like, they have their own training facility legitimately. Yeah, I have ton of respect for St. Paul Canine. I think they do
absolutely.
just. I mean, their program is just, it's amazing. And not that Minneapolis doesn't do a fantastic job too. I just have more experience, more firsthand knowledge of more. So you talk about, the trainers you had that you kind of look and say, I'd follow that guy.
Oh yeah.
For me, it was when I was in training. It was one of the handlers from St. Paul was Mark Ficcadeni.
Yeah.
And
Family.
when I was a young handler in a small town in southwestern Minnesota, I ran into Mark and he was like, "Where do you get your training?" And I'm like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." And he was like, "Anytime you come to the cities, you come, here's my number, you call me, you're going to come train with us." And I did so much training with St. Paul PD because of Mark.
Yeah.
And I learned so much from guys like Mark and Brady. There's a bunch of guys that this, and I just will, again, and this is my little plug for St. Paul PD, or old school St. Paul Canine. These guys, I was this small town, one horse town cop with my drug dog German Shepherd, and these guys were treating me like I was just one of the guys. I mean, it was just, I wasn't some outcast. They were, "Come try this, try that. Hey, do this. Hey, do that." And they were just, it was like, I was just one of the guys. It was fantastic. So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, so that was my little, but I always, because the more you see it, the more what you say makes a ton of sense. If you have one dog that can focus 100%, because I think part of it too is, if you got a handler who doesn't want to do, drug stuff, well, they're not going to train drug stuff. They're going to train bait stuff. So that means they're going to be a good bite dog, but you're going to be a terrible drug, or you know what I mean? So
Be lacking
it's
in
that, it's
area.
that passion of what that handler wants to do. So I wish more agencies would look at that theory and philosophy of single purpose dog. And if you want dual purpose, then get two dogs.
Right.
Yep. So, so at some point you make a transition from this illustrious canine career out in Washington back to the great frozen tundra.
Yeah.
Oh no, I want to hold that for a second.
Okay.
Though.
Well, what would you like, sir?
I want to hear a story of an apprehension.
Oh, we don't have that much time.
Just one.
He's gotta
You
leave
said
in
you had over 500, but what's your favorite apprehension that you can recall from when you were out west?
Oh God's sakes. People are always worried about bite dogs getting out of hand and going after the wrong people. I'm gonna go back to Doc. Doc had just a phenomenal calm way about him. Didn't matter who you were, who was around. As long as I was nice, calm, cool, and collective, he was nice, calm, cool, and collective, and you could play with about anybody. The second I turn, he turns, and that's what you want your dog to do. We were given a demonstration one night to a bunch of what are the brownie Girl Scout
I was
girls?
gonna say Boy Scouts, Girl
the
Scouts.
Girl Scouts. Thank you, for Christmas sakes.
Brownies are the ones before Girl Scouts.
Yeah. So it was a
Right.
bunch
You're
of,
on the right
yeah,
track.
thank you. Old age, man, it's catching up to you.
Yeah.
So the Girl Scouts, they're doing their thing, and we're giving them a demonstration. We get a hot call for a canine. It was a burglary in progress. Dude takes off, run out of business. So my partner and I, my other canine partner and I, were right down the street. So I grabbed Doc really quick, rush out to the car, load him up, go to this call. We tracked this guy. We found him. Doc ended up biting him. The guy fought with us for a little while. You don't want to fight with a dog, on top of you. It's just not a smart move. You're not educated in your own brain. You don't fight the dog, moron. So,
You're not gonna win that one.
Yeah, no.
So usually when out there, when someone got bit by a dog, they end up getting the devil juice on them too. That's the OC.
That's
So
right.
that's usually simultaneous. It's hand in hand.
The devil juice.
Yeah.
I have not heard it called
Really?
that. And I've been around a while.
Yeah, I love the devil juice. It's good stuff.
I love that stuff.
Oh man. So I get Doc off the bite, and you got to clean your dog's mouth out. After too, you can get some blood and everything around there. So, and these girls are waiting for us to come back and do the demo. So my partner at the time, he didn't want to bring his dog out because his dog was just, there's something upstairs that was loose in his brain. So I get Doc back up there, clean him up, wash them off, get them back up to the girls. We do this demonstration. The girls are loving and tugging, grabbing them, holding them, taking pictures and everything else. And I am loving this because we just went from giving these little girls the time of their life with a police dog to capturing somebody, which is the time of my life. I get to watch my dog work and be there and come in with a Superman cape on, like, patrol, get out of my way. Here we go. So
Yes.
capture the guy and get another bite under our belt, which which is always cool because you want to see your dog succeed. And even if we don't bite anybody, that was totally fine with me too, because we caught the bad guy. That was the whole purpose of it. But for him to go from happy to to the FAFO dog and then come back to happy, that's what I could show my department and say, this is what you want in a dog. This is what you want in a handler. This is who we need for our next generation of handlers coming in, because this is the success that we have. So that's what I like to tell other agencies, to tell them that story and say, this is what you can have. Just have to trust your selected trainer to be able to figure out the selection of your person and then your dog, and then we can make it all succeed. So that's probably my favorite capture, my favorite capture story. I mean, there's more exciting ones that we've had.
No, but that's a really good example though of so a lot of common questions that I've heard are like, the dogs are they're mean, they're you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, oh, they're scary. It's like, clean up some misconceptions that you're aware of with a lot of police
Correct.
canines specifically. Like, is the dog mad when they're biting people?
No, it's happy. You watch their tail. This is what they're born and bred to do, because this is what you train them to do. So this is happy time for them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to simplify it, but it's kind of a chew toy.
It is.
Are
Yeah.
they not?
Yeah.
I mean, so the dogs are having fun when they're apprehending.
They absolutely are.
And then what about talk a little bit about what your opinion is on the different training types, right? I mean, I remember early on in my career, I mean, I literally saw a canine guy up in an agent. I'll keep the agency out of it.
Sure.
I watched him helicopter his dog
Oh yeah.
once.
Oh yeah.
And what explain that theory when that happens, or what is going on in that? Is that normal?
No, well, back then, yeah, it was called compulsion training. So compulsion training is you're forcefully training that dog to do what it is that you want that dog to do, but then you also let yourself get away with that emotion, I guess, of getting amped up. And now, just like a bad guy, I can match you, I can match you, I can match you. And then we're both at the tippy top. But like I said, then there's two idiots in a conversation. Just let there be one idiot in a conversation. So you can't match stupidity when you start to get up so high. And I don't mean to make that stupidity comment when you're training dogs, because there's really no stupidity in there besides the human factor. But when you start using compulsion training, when you do so much force with that dog, now that dog is in the red zone, and that's all we're operating in, is in that red zone. So it's hard to get a clear. It's hard to have that dog get a clear head when that dog knows that dad or mom is about to get so pissed off here in a second. I'm about to get either my butt kicked, or I better fight back, to match them. So we've gotten away from compulsion training.
That's good, because I didn't like it.
No, yeah,
Honestly, I mean, and you pointed out something that I noticed. The handler was amped,
yes,
and the dog. I mean, I saw it go unconscious.
Oh, yeah.
I watched it shit itself.
Yep. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, there's still dogs you have to get downright and dirty with, and you have to. I mean, you have to establish that dominance and that role that you have with the dog. So there are times where I'll grab a dog and I'll roll a dog, and that doesn't look very nice. It doesn't look cool, but the application and the use of force, in the public eye, doesn't look cool. But when you're dealing with an animal that can literally rip your head off, you have got to establish the fact that dog has to listen, and you have to do what you have to do. Odds are you only have to do it once or twice with that animal, and then you can move on and start using less compulsion, more positive feedback with that dog, and then you start to be able to get that dog, to think and speak with a lot more clear head, and you keep that handler down here low on the stress pendulum.
So you would know this better than I think anybody that I know, but this was fairly new to me, and it was probably 10 years ago when I learned this, but I don't think a lot of people know this, but when you walk up to the canine car and the car starts barking, that's taught.
Oh yeah,
that's not something the dog does.
Mhm.
And I was surprised because we were out on a perimeter one time, and one of the deputies was like, "Hey, go grab this out of my car," or whatever. And he was a canine deputy, and I said, "Okay." And I walk up and I open the front of his car and I reach inside and I grab what I got to grab out of the car and things like that. And as I grab and get out and I close the door, all of a sudden I notice the dog's still in the car, and the dog didn't make a peep. And I was like, so I walked up and I was like, "Your dog didn't break it. We don't train that.
Yeah.
We don't train our dogs to
Right.
bark." Are we getting away from that? Or are we still doing that? Are we still teaching them bang on the
that's
car and get
handler.
the dog to bark?
That's handler preference on them. I never taught my dogs to do that. I didn't want that. And my ears are already sensitive enough.
Yeah.
And I already have selective hearing as it is. So why make it permanent?
Yeah.
So it just, I've never taught that with my dog.
What's the idea behind that?
Well, just
keep
stay
people
away from my
your
car.
dog?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it can be a lot of things. Number one, you look cool because you're a cop. You got a dog that heck yeah, I'm a natural born badass. Whatever. I mean, we all know that the cops are divas. Or sorry, patrol cops, canine cops. There we go. Are divas.
You got very specific there.
I know.
We just narrowed it down. We went from here. We just narrowed it
Yeah,
right
totally.
down.
Canine cops are very much divas, and we like to have the spotlight on us. And no matter what, it doesn't matter who we are, where you are. That's just the key fact of it. So if you have a dog, you want to flaunt it. If you have a new patrol car, you want to flaunt it. Whatever. Your dog's your toy, and granted, the dog's a tool. But yeah, most canine cops like it when their dog talks back. 'Cause it's just whatever.
So when you roll up on the scene and the dog starts barking, everybody looks at your car.
I'm here.
Right.
I'm here.
I'd rather have a stealth guy come out.
Yeah,
I'd rather pop that door and have that dog just come out of nowhere.
just fur missile.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you already gave him feasible warning. If it was feasible, you gave him a warning that the dog's coming out. If they don't want to believe you, cool. Here we go.
That's on them.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
I was just because I didn't know. But I was like I said, it was one of those things. I was like, and he was like, yeah, we train that. Like we walk around the car and beat on it with sticks and get the dog to all amped up to bark, and then and that way, anytime anybody comes near the car, the dog starts barking. We disengage, and that's how we train the dog to bark when someone walks by the car. And I'm like, you train that? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, that's dumb.
Well, and I will say that there are obviously we know that there's dogs with very high drive, and that's what we want as a dog with very high drive. So a natural, a natural thing for the dog to do is bark anyways too. So you're probably going to get a dog too here and there that's just going to naturally do it, and now you're going to battle a talking dog. So it's just one of those things you just train with.
I'd rather have a natural talking dog
Yep.
than have to train it into them. That you know what I mean? Like
Right.
if my dog does that already, then fine. Like and my explosive dogs, she gets like that. When we do training, we do our monthly order training.
Mm-hmm.
We're good for about the first 2 fines, and then after that, I literally have to use a breaker bar to get her to out her toy.
Yep.
Otherwise, she's not giving it up. And I'm not
You lost a clear head.
a Shanghai my dog because that's what they
Right.
choke collar and lift up on the choke collar till she spits it out, and then and I'm like I just too much of a humanitarian towards that. And I understand that again the training side of it, but for me I just like there's got to be a better way.
Right.
And I was shown a better way.
Yep.
And I was like, this was because it's called a breaker bar, and base is like it's a big tongue depressor. And when she gets on that third or fourth and she's just amped, she's Belgian Malinois, so she's just amped. And I just take that little tongue depressor and just go like this and stick it inside and just touch her tongue, and she goes and spits the toy out. I'm like, that's way easier than choking my dog out.
Yeah. So just curiosity, just because you brought up the Belgian Malinois and you talked about German Shepherd earlier, what are you looking for in the different types of dogs? I mean, it seems like different breeds have different drives, different breeds have different natural abilities.
Right.
From your experience, what is the difference? And then what you would think would be the recommended dog for an agency?
Malinois are shepherds on crack. There is essentially what they are, and typically is what they are. Not all the time though. Shepherds tend to have more of a meticulous, detailed nose than Belgians do, and Belgians have less self-preservation than shepherds do. So when it comes time to clear a car, to jump over the car or jump into the car, Malinois tend to just go,
Hold my beer.
Yep,
Yeah.
there I go.
Oh, totally.
Hold my beer. Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Whereas a shepherd would be like, I come running up to it, look for the door handle, like, all right, I can open the door and get in, and then I can go bite the guy.
That's funny. I mean, because on from the outside,
Yep.
That's what I see. I see Malinois, because we have both in our agency.
Sure. Yeah.
And the Malinois they're insane.
Mhm.
Yeah, they are, but
And they're just high drive. I mean, high, like fast all the time.
all the time.
Where the shepherds, when they're walking through the hallways of the PD, they're kind of like, dude,
Yeah.
dude, hey, I mean,
More of a pristine look. But yeah,
definitely.
But I love both. I mean, I will train both, and I don't care what discipline it is. I will take I have no preference in one or the other. I'll take either one. I just want to make sure that the handler is the
Can
right
handle it.
person for that breed. That's
Right.
all I want to make sure.
And again, this is me dating myself again, right? So what happened was that
I'm sorry.
yeah, right. The transition between that became very popular is actually the discussion we're having right now, and so there were many breeders that started crossbreeding, and so they started breeding shepherds and mals, and that became for a while
Crossbreeding the two.
Yep.
To get a hybrid.
Well, so you get
a mix.
You get the drive of the mal, but you get the temperament of the shepherd, which is, like I said, that's what my dog is. So when we're working, she's insane. She's psycho. She's a machine. She work up. But when we're at home, or when we're in the car, she just lays down. She'll lay in her crate and just goes for the ride. She isn't doing, so she still is, compared to my other dogs at home, she still does the circle around the table and, things like that. But she's not full blown mal where she's climbing the walls. Are they still doing a lot of the hybrid stuff, or is that?
Yeah, they're still there.
Yeah,
they're still there. But it all depends what you want. You can go to a very reputable kennel, and they'll get you exactly what you want.
right.
I got a good guy down in Alabama Canine, Ricky Farley. You tell Ricky what you want, he's got it. He'll get it. He'll find it.
Yeah.
So if you want a cross, you'll find it. I mean, you want a bulldog and a Shih Tzu and get a bullshit, you can get one. So yeah.
You're because I know you picked out. I know we just blew by it.
I know it's okay.
No, it's all right. But
Didn't do it. Right.
I got a button somewhere.
Your BC dogs are just shepherds, though, right?
Malinois.
Oh, they are mals.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay.
But we only have one dog right now.
Okay.
Just one dog. So, so I'm gonna hit the gas on this one. I went through Doc. I had Dez, and then I had Dark as my my dogs. So I had 3 dogs. When I left Washington, I left there as a canine sergeant. I left there as a great. I mean, I left there having a great career in canine. And I'll never regret any of those moments. Washington was phenomenal to me until it wasn't. And the only reason it wasn't was because the state legislature they turned really bad, and they started to you could have your drug use in front of a school. You could smoke your personal amount of heroin in the park. Whatever you wanted to do, it was fine. So it was good until it wasn't good, and that's why I left.
That's what drove you. I was wondering about that because I mean, we all know there's horror stories about Washington.
Yeah, and that was one of them.
We have an officer in our department that came from Washington, and that's why he left.
I like to pick their brains, see where they came from.
I know exactly where they came from, but
Awesome.
to protect the innocent,
No,
I'll
that's
hold
okay.
that for now.
Protect the innocent. I plead the fifth. So yeah, that's why I left. But I also left to come back here for a specific reason. That was Nutrisource dog food. They kind of headhunted me, and I came back and I helped design the Spot Training Center, which is in Rockford. I did that, and it was a great thing for myself, I think, mentally, because I took 2 years off from this job, and I needed 2 years off from this job, and I didn't know I needed it until I had it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
ties into the whole mental health stuff we've been talking about. But I get it.
Yep.
I get it. So I explain that to me just a little bit. You literally got I mean, I know what headhunted is, right?
Yeah.
You got headhunted by Nutrisource. How did your name float across their desk somehow?
I don't have the full story. I don't. But they had their eyes on Soldier 6, which was it's my family operation. I was doing Soldier 6 from afar, and I was just very quiet at it, doing it out there. But when I came here, or when they approached me, they said they wanted to speak directly with me and Soldier 6 at the same time. So I said, yeah, we can do a Zoom. And they said, well, if you happen to be in Minnesota, we can do a Zoom. Or if you happen to be in Minnesota, we'll do in person. So I would just happen to be coming back for vacation. Got back here, went to Perham because that's where they're based out of, and it was my sisters and my brother-in-law. We're all Soldier 6. So I showed up there, and it was an ambush. Is what it was. So I got into the room, in this big conference room, with the owners of Nutrisource, and they ambushed me, and it was very unfair. And I thank them for that.
Right.
I was going to say, like, is this a good thing? thing?
It was a good
Or
ambush. It was a very good ambush. They gave me an offer that I literally couldn't refuse, and I called my chief from the conference room, and I said, "This is what's happening. I didn't plan this to happen, but this is what's happening." And he literally laughed and he said, "Well, I'm telling you as a man and as a friend, you'd be an idiot to not take
Do not
that."
look at it. Yeah.
what role were they looking at for you here? I mean,
Uh,
I mean, literally, what
it,
you said you designed the building, but okay, what I mean, is there more to this?
it was yeah, design the boarding and training center, and then operate Soldier 6 from there, and have what Nutrisource had a vision of just giving back to the community. So this
Mhm.
was their way of giving back,
Okay.
while maintaining operation of a business too. So that's what it was, and I was there to operate the training aspect of everything once the build was done. So I designed what they wanted, and then I took over the training for them.
Okay, I got it.
Yep.
Now I'm understanding the
Yeah.
drive there.
Yeah.
You know,
So
what's happening.
So to hit that, so no, because now I get to transition us into the Soldier 6 thing because
Sure.
um, when Soldier 6 got started,
Mhm.
it was just, I mean, initially it was just very small, right? It was just Ed, Dana, you,
Yep. Very
Cassie.
very small. Yeah. Not even that. It was just Ed and Dana.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was, I mean, I remember when I reached out,
Mhm.
I mean, I had a 3-way phone conversation with Ed and Dana, and we just talked.
Yep.
We just talked. That's all it was. And I look at where Soldier 6 was, and again, not that long ago,
Right.
right? And it was you and one other like
One-
part-time trainer,
One
wasn't
part-time
it?
trainer, Jesse. Yep.
Yeah. And to look at where the organization is now,
Yep. Myself and 9 other trainers.
9
Yep.
across the state.
Yep.
I mean, I remember because there's been a few trips to Duluth we've made.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just remember Mike going, I got to go to Duluth. You want to come with me? So I'm not bored. Yeah, I'll go with you. And then we'd go to Duluth and do training, or I got to go down to, down to Marshall, or Mike literally went, I mean, when Soldier 6 was just kind of getting its footing all over,
Mhm.
I mean, all over.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think to take a step back and look at how far
Yeah.
and how many, what do you know what the current number is? How many recipients?
A little over 310.
310.
Mhm.
Okay, so now let's stop this for just a second. Let's open up the box. Tell us about Soldier 6. Who are they? What's their mission?
So Soldier 6, we're a nonprofit. We're based in Minnesota. Primarily in Invergrove Heights is where our headquarters is, and the headquarters is the kitchen of my sister and my brother-in-law who started Soldier 6 back in 2015. We give service dogs to military veterans and first responders. You have to specifically qualify in order to get a service dog. You have to have a medical reason for that dog, because that dog is a medical tool. I train your dog specifically to feed, to serve that person's medical needs. So we get downright and dirty with people. I mean, we bust into their diagnosis, into their therapist or their doctor have to have supporting documentation and evidence that they qualify for us, and this is a person's ticks or whatever the case is. And then I invade your personal space and I train your dog with you, and I have to understand what it is about you that works and what doesn't work, and how I can get this dog to mix in with your life and to give you that medical attention, that medical alert, or whatever the case might be, to help you, kind of succeed in having a service dog. We do everything with the person, so I don't take your dog away. I train you and the dog at the same time,
Mhm.
and that's why initial training goes for a year and a half plus, and everything is free. We don't charge for anything. It's free for our recipients, and we take good care of who we have, and those that truly want it, they make it known that they truly want it, and they put every step forward to getting this done with us. So we try to get back to those who give to our country or our communities, whatever the case might be. It's just a way for us to say thank you, and we're a service family, so we understand the needs of others and how it works. So that's what we do, and then we also give therapy dogs to police departments, fire departments, schools, hospitals, therapists, psychologists, anybody who deals with our demographic that we deal with. We give them therapy dogs for free, and we do the same thing. We train the dog for free for the rest of that dog's life. We do what we can to to help the masses. Therapy dog is for the masses. It's not necessarily for the individuals, it's just for everybody. So we give that trainer and that dog all the training that they're going to need to succeed for their agency or their clinic or for their practice, whatever the case is.
So I've got a lot of questions.
I have some answers.
You'll make it up and I won't know the difference.
Hey, this is that whole job. You just got to look confident walking into something. That's all you got to do.
So for somebody, what kind of medical conditions would a service dog be helpful for?
It can range from a TBI, PTSD, right down to being a diabetic or mobility. We have some folks that need that dog for mobility, whether it's MS, amputee, whatever the case might be. So train that dog for anything that would, as long as that person would benefit from the use of that dog, we'll train that dog to be there for him. The only thing I can't do is a seeing eye dog because I just don't have the resources and the time for it.
Okay. And then as far as the clientele, you'd made a comment that it was like for people who've given back. Like what do you so military vets,
Yes.
first responder types?
Yep.
And then did you say like therapists as well?
Yeah. So the doctors, the therapists, the police departments, fire departments, hospitals, schools, they'll get therapy dogs from us because they deal with our clientele, our demographic that we are aimed towards. So as long as they are helping our demographic, we'll supply them with a dog and
Wow.
get them a trained dog.
I like to throw my little pitch in too, because so it's when I do my little Soldier 6 spiel to people as well as I tell people it's the larger scope of first responders. So we have firefighters, we have dispatchers, we have jailers. So it's not just cops or deputies or trooper. Like we have medical doctors. So the organization itself is when they literally say first responders, it legitimately is
The big umbrella.
Yeah, I mean it's all of the umbrella. I mean it's corrections officers, it's dispatch. Like I said, and I think so. I think when people think, oh, it's first responders, cops, firefighters. No, it's cops, firefighters, dispatchers, COs. I mean it's it's this large. It's much larger, I think, than when you just say it. It's a much larger umbrella than I think you really really realize. That when I tell people we have medical doctors that have our dogs, and they're like, what? We have therapists. We have therapists that have our dogs. And I say our dogs because I consider myself part of the organization.
Absolutely,
But you know what I mean. But but it is though. I mean it's just I think the reach of the organization I think is, at least when I talk about the organization, I think the reach is much larger than people realize it is. And I think the other thing that makes, and again, I don't know, right? But I think the other thing that makes Soldier 6 a little bit different than everybody else is two things. One is you can bring your own dog. I mean, my dogs were my dogs first, and they're brother and sister, but biologically we got them from the same breeder and things like that. But of course, it was a process with Mike. Hey, I want to look at your dogs. I want to see your dogs and see if they're able to be trained and things like that. But the initial response was, hey, if I already have a dog, can I just bring my dog? Because when I talked to Ed and Dane on the phone, they were like, yeah, what kind of dog do you want? What's that? Yep, you're eligible for our program. What kind of dog do you want? We'll get you a dog. I already have a dog. Can I bring my own? Sure. You'll have to meet with Mike, though, to make sure that your dog's even trainable. What kind of dog is it? German Shepherd. We're sure you'll be just fine. But most of these, and again, I'm not generalizing any organization, but a lot of organizations kind of, they preload their dogs. They start to pre-train these dogs, and then it's like, oh, you're eligible for a dog, and then they kind of give you that dog.
Here's your pick.
Well, it's kind of, and they've already kind of, and it's not a terrible thing, but they've already started that training process. The other side of it is, and I remember this specifically as well, is there's only a handful of dogs that Mike has told me that they just because of the retention level that they just won't train, or you can't, we want this dog. Nope, it's not, that dog wouldn't be a good service dog because we have difficulties, but it's not a lot. I mean, I just, when we go to some of these events, just the different varieties of dogs that we have within the organization is just,
We're a pack of stray dogs, man.
it's crazy.
So 310 dogs
Recipients.
you guys have placed or helped people with.
Yep.
Where do y'all
Y'all? Speaking of Kansas,
Where
No kidding.
where does Soldier 6 get these dogs, and where the funds come from? I mean, nothing's free in the world. I'm sorry. I just
No, nothing is free.
apparently being a recipient is free, but
Well, yeah. I mean, nothing. You're right. Nothing is free. The second I leave here, I'm going to go to a fundraiser and be presented with a check on how to continue. That's going to help continue fund. So we're constantly fundraising. I do a lot of PR stuff to get funds. We don't take grants from the federal government. I don't want to be tied to a lobbyist group, so we don't take grants. We are who we are, and this is how we do it. But privately, private donors are big ones. Corporations are big ones. We have generous people that come forth and help us out and donate constantly. So thank God for them. And then we have breeders that will donate dogs quite often to us and give us a pick of their litter. If we don't have a breeder at the time, Coco's Heart Dog Rescue in Somerset, Wisconsin, they are our top tier partner that we go with constantly for the dogs.
what are they called?
Coco's Heart Dog Rescue.
Coco's Heart Dog Rescue.
Yeah, they're in Somerset, Wisconsin. Phenomenal group. We team with them quite often. We team with them with the Minnesota Wild because I am the official dog trainer with the Minnesota Wild.
that's right.
Wow.
I know. Sit down.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
saw
sit
you
down.
on TV. Actually.
You did see me on TV. I'll sign your forehead later.
I don't want it.
I'll sign your dog.
I'll sign your dog.
I got a dog that
she's
needs
a-
some training.
She was the second I walked in, she listened.
Yeah, she
right.
she actually did.
I have that effect on people.
That is true.
On dogs.
My
He said I got that effect on dogs.
my shepherd, my service dog, loves him.
I know.
Loves.
Goofy guy.
Mhm.
Oh, so okay. The next step, is how if there are people listening and they want to support this, amazing organization. What can they do?
You can go to soldier6.com and you can look up that. You can look up on our website, kind of read all about us. There's a contact us bit right there if you want to send us a message. If you're interested in getting a dog, you can send us a message and then we'll walk you through it. In any of our, whether it's our Facebook page or our Instagram, you can hop on there and take a look and see what we got on there, and then you can communicate with us. If you send us a message, it's going to go directly to myself and my sister Dana. So you're dealing with one of us constantly. So we are, like right now, I have literally 108 unread text messages on my phone. I don't stop.
Wow.
I don't stop.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. When I punch out from the police department, I punch into this. So my
Wow.
12-hour day, my 12-hour shift at the police department turns into a 4-hour day at home doing this stuff. And today is my day off, and I left my house at, I don't know what time I left my house at, and I won't be home until about midnight. So it's just going to be one of those.
So the obvious question: Why? Why do you do this?
Because if I don't, I'm going to be bored.
So you're a high energy guy.
I'm like
Shocking.
like a Malinois.
Yeah.
You're the human version of a Malinois.
That's right. No, I like it because it's fun, and my family's very tight, so we do a lot of stuff together. But it's one of those things where I love dogs. I love training dogs. I love being. If I'm not around a dog, I'm around a horse. So I gotta be. It's my mental health escape, I guess.
Yeah.
It's what I enjoy doing.
You're definitely serving an area that is obviously for the three of us sitting here right now is extremely important to us.
Yeah.
I just interviewed, Dave and Christy Dyke last week, and they have a tie to you in Soldier
Exactly,
6. And
yeah.
I told them that you were coming on the show, and they're like, "Oh, that's awesome."
They're doing phenomenal work with everything that they do. They touch a lot of people.
Yep. Naya, he trained Naya. And
Yeah.
it was a great conversation, both on and off the recording. But
Sure.
they have nothing but positive things to say about Soldier 6.
That's awesome.
I know he's very appreciative of Naya and that big old fluff ball that they
Yeah,
have
she
there.
is. Yeah.
But she was a cute little puppy.
Yeah,
too.
she was. Yeah. It's adorable. Little fur ball.
So it's just it's amazing to see all these tight connections.
Did you now you had mentioned that you had a caller or a message that was sent to you in reference to Ask Mike. Did you ask your question or do you need to get that?
No, I didn't. And it's not even really like Soldier 6 related, but one of the people that follow the show here actually wanted me to ask you a question. They're having a problem with their dog that's pulling.
Sure.
And they're like, "Does he have any recommendations?" So what do you do for a dog? I mean, I know this is totally like
I know it's all
out of left
situational.
field, but
Yeah,
a dog that, like, when they're on a walk, just pulls on the collar.
sure.
What are the options with that dog?
Well, I mean, your equipment is number one. If you got to you got to
Mhm.
come right down to the correct equipment. Don't put your dog on a harness. If you're one of these people that put your dog on a harness and you walk your dog, you're not that you have no control over that animal. You have to go from the neck where the head goes, the body follows. So whether it's a gentle leader or a martingale, right down to a pinch collar,
Mhm.
you have to find the right equipment for that animal. But you can't let that dog win. If that dog is pulling, and God only knows what they're pulling for. If they're pulling because I see a tree 1,200 feet ahead of me, and I gotta go see what newspaper was left on that newspaper, mean dog pee, was left on that tree, I gotta go see it. Don't let that dog win. I don't care if you take your dog for a 500-foot walk and it takes you 3 hours. You don't let your dog win. So you have to either reposition that dog, redirect that dog, however the case is. But as long as Fido understands that when I go out now I have to walk mom or dad's pace, then you let your dog go. Then you go for your walk, and you understand that the dog understands that as long as I'm doing good, then I get to have a little bit of freedom and zip around and go smell things. But then I got to come right back to mom and dad. So that's how without getting into the very specific reason for that particular animal, it comes right down to the human. The human gets tired after a little while, and they're just like, oh, screw it, do it.
Give up.
Yep. Just do what you want. Well, the dog wins. Yeah, cool. Yeah, right. Fido gets to do what Fido wants to go do. So it just comes right down to understanding the discipline in your own head before you go on that walk, and then you come up with that game plan of how to redirect your dog into the position that you want that dog to be in. But then understand when the dog does well, you have to let that dog have a little bit of freedom.
There you go.
Basic.
It is
super easy.
It all comes. It is and it's not though.
It all comes down to basics, though. It does. Everything comes right down to the very bone basics. Just like cop work, you have to understand your basics. You have to understand your Fourth Amendment. You have to understand your case law. Once you understand that, then go do your high speed stuff. Then go have fun.
And I think the best word that used that I took it was equipment.
Yep.
I mean, some dogs it's sometimes it's the right collar.
Yep.
Sometimes it's the what's the politically correct version of a choke collar? What is they do? We still
slip lead.
Are we still calling them? Okay.
I don't know. I call it a choker.
Okay.
Choke collar.
Yeah.
I mean,
when I was getting my dog, we had the one that had the little whale tail on it and push,
Yep.
And again, and the only purpose of that collar is that when you were walking, if the dog started to pull, the dog would, you walked your pace.
Yeah.
And if the dog walked your pace, it didn't get, wasn't choking itself. And then there was other dogs that, that you see, they're these, just super high drive that they need more like a pinch collar or a bite collar. And
Yep,
so,
exactly.
yeah, your equipment's the big part of all of it. So, all right. So now that he pitched Soldier 6, now you got to pitch
pitch the website?
Yeah, our website.
Yeah. You got to come out and check out our website. So first of all, we're going to put some links to Soldier 6 on our resources page. We're going to put a couple different things that you mentioned. We'll put that on there as well. But you got to come to our website to see that. So our website's just newly designed, and it's up and running. So you can visit us at weareunderinvestigation.com. I used to give all the other socials, but that takes a long time.
And they're there anyway.
Yeah, go there. All the socials are there. We're pretty active on the TikTok. And you know what? And Trainer Mike's active on the TikTok. I saw a video of him recently dancing in his kitchen.
That's right. That's right. Calm down, everybody.
I was like,
I already called him out for that too.
That guy is brave.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
So, but Mike, seriously though, we could go on for hours, and we want to be respectful of your time. But please consider joining us again for something maybe completely different.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about dogs. You don't have to talk about work. We can talk about your dance moves.
That's interactive.
He's a stylish kind of guy. I mean, he's.
So,
Mike, for all the ladies, are you married?
No.
Oh.
No married, no kids.
Oh.
No married, never married, no kids.
Not married, no
married. You know what? No. Well, I forget it. I'm not even going to bring
dogs.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. Seriously though, thank you for joining us.
People.
Make sure you again come and visit us at weareunderinvestigation.com, and we will certainly put you in contact with Soldier 6, whether you want to support them, whether you want to help donate and help provide dogs to people who are certainly in need.
Mm-hmm.
But we thank you, and everybody enjoy and take care.